Good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Hey, we're doing good.
Hey,
We are out. It is nice morning this morning.
Mom.
Can you see her? I'm gonna go get a cup of coffee, so
Sure.
sit back there. Okay.
How are you, Mom?
I'm fine. I was taking. I told him yesterday morning he looked really good in white, and
He looks
now
really good in red.
you look good in red.
He
Thank
must
you.
be a winter. Do you remember the days when they talked about doing color?
Yeah.
And I had my when I was in college. I had my color analysis done because I wanted to know how to dress better. And every time I dressed in the colors that Mom had dressed in, the autumn oranges and browns and stuff like that, I felt washed out, and discovered from the analysis this professional woman did with me is that I'm a winter. So I look great
Sure.
in the reds and the whites and the stark darks
Yeah.
and the crisp and the icy pinks and icy blues and that kind of thing. So
I would imagine we're all pretty much the same, right?
Probably. Well, but mom's a winter. I mean, not a winter. She's a autumn. She looks really good in the orange and the fall colors, and she looks
Huh.
good in the soft not
I
pastel.
thought she made everything look good.
She always does make everything look good.
Thank you.
I'll be
I
right
knew
back.
you were a good son.
Yes, indeed. He's so good.
So, what'd you do yesterday evening?
I fell asleep, I think. We went out to dinner and I came home and fell asleep, I believe. I don't
Yeah.
even remember what I was doing before I fell asleep.
You sound like your mom. I forget what I done.
And then I got up and watched some TV for a while. That was it. How
Yeah.
about you?
I sit on the porch and watched it rain, and I mean to tell you, it was something else.
Oh, really?
It heavy. It rained so heavy, and maybe later it'd slow down a little bit and go right back to real heavy.
Huh.
Betsy was driving back from Sanford, and she said it was awful. I
Oh,
was
man.
talking about the rain.
Oh yeah.
It was just something else.
Well,
It was a good gully washer.
we pretty much had rain for like 4 days.
Well, this rain was something else, I tell you.
Well, we haven't. We got a little bit of spit here and there. Yesterday was the first really bad rain. I think most of it has gone north of us. You see, he's got his H&C coffee thing on.
I know.
And Connor's painting.
Yes, I love
Yes.
that painting.
I do too.
I
Wow.
can't.
Yeah.
What is?
It's a Picasso knockoff, or
Oh,
her
okay.
interpretation of the cafe scene that Picasso did. It is Picasso.
She really did do good work.
Yeah, she did. Probably still does.
Yeah.
We don't know. I know that, just so you know, there was a guy that lived in our neighborhood, Virginia, who is second generation Polish immigrant.
Hmm.
It's actually first. If you're born in the States, is first, right?
Yes.
Okay, so he's first generation. His father came from Poland. His father and his mother came from Poland, and his father was a painter. And in those days when they arrived, you could sit in any of the art museums in downtown DC and paint. And so he would go and sit and paint the pictures on the wall, right? And he was so good, it looked like an original. And the Smithsonian decided that they didn't want him coming around anymore. He was too good.
Yeah.
So they kicked him out. And then a month later, they found him, on one of the streets where he was painting. And they told him that they actually wanted to hire him. And he said, "What for?" And he said, "Well, it's actually the White House wants to hire you. They want you to paint all the president's pictures in the White House, and they want to use your pictures to switch out the originals from time to time to do changes or to just display." So he actually painted for the White House until he retired. He also ran an art studio in McLean, Virginia, but he was incredible. His paintings were incredible.
Well, I've heard stories of people that get hired to do that sort of thing, to reproduce.
Mm-hmm. If you're that good, and people can't really tell unless they're an authenticator, they can't tell that it's not the original, then why not? Keep the
Well,
original.
certainly have been
Right.
authenticators. There certainly have been people that have beat the authenticators.
Yes, that's true. But he wasn't one of them. He was a good guy. He didn't try to. I've seen stories about that. I think it's on 60 Minutes. There's a couple of runs of that.
Yeah, that I think I saw that one. That's yeah, pretty interesting. So you guys go anywhere today?
Well, we're going to go have breakfast and go to Marshall's, and then Mom wants me to come back and fix her light bulbs, and I said that's good. I looked up your message. I found your message that told me step by step to go, where to go, and what to do. So that's good. She's dedicated time for us to get it done. Where I open the Google Home app, tap the icon top left, choose to set up device, blah blah blah. So I checked it. I got it. I'll do it.
And see, remember I bought 3 new bulbs, and I want one of them put beside my bed because it's up high. I have to sit up and turn that lamp on.
And Betsy, I don't think that you guys would have this problem, but I had this problem. I had renamed a couple bulbs and didn't change the Google Home thing, and that kind of messed things up. I had to go through one day and straighten everything out. But I don't think you have that problem.
Well, I think we have living room 1 and living room 2. So
And it don't. And anytime I ask for living room 2, they turn living room 1
so
on.
I'm thinking that we may want to. I don't know. I'll check it out. You know, maybe this is a good time to rename all the bulbs and redo them. Put out all new bulbs in the.
There's nothing, Mom, just so you know, if that's the only 1 and 2 scheme you have,
Pretty good.
you can go in and say, turn on number 1 or turn on 2, turn on 1 or turn on 2 or turn off 2, turn off 1.
Right.
You don't have to say lamp.
Right.
No, I don't say lamp.
And that's why I was thinking to just name them 1, 2, and 3, and 4. You know, you can see the sun.
Or Bobby, Sally, Mary.
Mary. Turn on Mary, please. Woo!
The one beside my bed is Tom.
Hey,
There you
that's
go.
good.
Because you know it's on Tom's side of the bed.
Yeah. So,
So that's our day. And she wants to go see. She got the new Orange Blossom Opry, and they have a Mickey Gilley and Johnny Lee reunion in January. And then, of course, as we were going through it, we realized, oh, they've got a bunch of people, you know, like Ricky Skaggs and where is it? Oh, Crystal Gale. And I was thinking, man, I'd love to see Crystal
Yeah,
Gale. And she said,
me
well, I
too.
want to see Crystal Gale. And I'm like, okay, I'll go with you to see Crystal Gale. And then they have, you know, other some gospel stuff. Mom likes gospel and Rhonda Vincent, so she looks like she could set up a whole winter of seeing some concerts.
Now, who was it that roomed with Rhonda, Linda Ronstadt? Was it Emmy Lou or was it Crystal Gale?
You know, I don't know. I didn't know that they roomed together, but it might have been.
They became good friends early in their careers, and I want to say it was Emmy Lou, but
Yeah.
she can't sing no more, isn't she? The one.
she can sing. She just can't.
Linda Ronstadt.
She
Yeah.
can't perform
Yeah.
because her Parkinson's makes it unpredictable.
Right. Right. But she's.
Yeah.
I think they had her at the Kennedy Awards. They honored her at the Kennedy Awards. Was it the year before last? And they sang a lot of her songs, which was very sweet.
I go to the doctor the 13th.
That's this week. It's Thursday, right?
Yeah, that's Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
I have something on Wednesday too.
Okay.
Hey, you got, Mom, do you remember when they opened the interstate?
I don't know exactly when they opened it up, but I know that when I worked at Saber Stop, y'all can figure out how old you were then. And I went down one night the wrong way. And I was working third shift.
And I'll tell you, Tom, to help us to narrow that window down, is that I just started driving and I decided that I was going to go on this new interstate. And I was going, I don't know, must be 40, 45 miles an hour. So if I'm driving, I must be 16, whatever year that was when I was 16, and we're 17. And I was driving on the interstate and I got pulled over for going too slow.
When 81 was there before 581, and it was open well before I became 16. Both of them. pretty sure. But I was just, I was just wondering if you guys remember.
Well, it
You,
must have been in the, I think,
pardon?
80s, 16. No, not 80s,
Six-
70s,
The
70s,
60s. It
60s. Right.
had to be open in the late 60s. And I presume they opened it while I was in middle school, but I don't know.
Well, I didn't drive
I don't-
until Rick was about 4 years old or something.
Well, if you drove when Rick was 4, I was only 10.
Yeah. Yeah. So why was this whole hoopla about driving on the interstate? I don't know why it was a big deal. And I decided, I remember it being some big hoopla. So, new. So I wanted to drive on it. So I don't know.
Thea sent me a picture this morning from a McDonald's from 1972. The menu board,
Uh-huh.
and the cheeseburger was 26 cents, or I think cheeseburger was 33 and a hamburger was 26. An apple pie was 26.
Well, the Kenny burgers we had must have been less than that because I was given, as you know, we're given 50 cents for our lunch. I spent 5 cents on rolls and 5 cents on a milk, so I could then have a hamburger after school, which was
Really?
25 cents or 30 cents. You know what I mean?
So
I
you
couldn't
walk
do
over to
anything
Kenny
else.
Burger after you got out of
I
middle
wanted
school?
burger, man. I love those Kenny burgers. I was willing to give up my lunch and have just a big old puffy yeast roll and some milk.
So you was going to school on Williamson Road.
Yeah.
So I was going. We went to not to the Dairy Queen, whatever you call that little ice cream place.
That was Dairy Queen.
It wasn't Dairy Queen, was it?
I think so. That's where we got the hot dogs.
Okay. All right. But yeah, we used to go there and get ice cream.
Soft serve.
Yeah. Mike and I go there. Banana splits.
Mm-hmm.
But in that store that was there, that's where we would go look at records and stuff. Where was that store?
What was that store? Arlen's? What is it called? Allen? No.
Arlen's.
Arlen's?
Where was it in the scheme? Was it next door to Kenny's or?
It was beyond.
It was just beyond it, but that's where I got my troll dolls, which I still have to this day.
Wow.
I know.
Aren't they yellowing a little bit?
Huh?
Have they yellowed a little bit?
Not really. They still have their little horseshoes on the bottom of their feet. They ain't worth nothing, but it's still
How's Pappy?
She is doing really, really well. She's been taking her to the dog park. One day I did not take her to the dog park, and we both just about lost our mind with all the energy that she had. She was super hyper that day, so we've realized the dog park is a good thing.
It's a necessity.
Yeah, necessity. And whether dogs are there or not, because she can do her zoomies apart. But I didn't take her this morning, but I took her for a long walk. And then we got her a new crate, so she's doing good in her crate. She still cries a little bit, but then she calms down, and she's just doing good. She's a sweet, sweet dog. Oh my God, she is so good and so sweet. We are thrilled.
So you crate her at night?
We do not.
Okay.
She spoons me. She either is sleeping between my legs in a little ball that's wrapped up like a cat, or she's spooned into my belly. And she doesn't sleep with Lori. She sleeps with me. But this morning, Lori had been up all night working because she couldn't sleep overnight, so she just got up and worked. And this morning, I went out for a bike ride, and I came back, and she couldn't sleep with her because she loses her mind when I leave. So Lori put her in the crate, and she quieted right down. So I don't know what it's taken to me. Usually, all dogs take to Lori, so it's kind of different for me to have one that's super affectionate to me.
So when you were doing the project for the airport, did they expose you to the future of the airports and transportation and stuff?
Well, we knew that the future of the train coming in and, you know, what they wanted to do to expand on the services they provide, especially, you know, to be the shopping center, like a place to go. They wanted to be a destination airport, but
Right.
that's about it. I didn't read that much more into it. They exposed more of that to their staff in their meetings that we weren't invited to. But I think whatever I saw on the web is what I know.
Yeah.
What, did you learn something?
No, I've decided I'm going to become a transportation futurist.
Oh, you are?
Well, there's so many things happening in the next 10 or 15 years that it's going to take, a lot of people are going to need help making a transition, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but first somebody has to understand where we are today,
Right.
where we can go, and how, when we go that direction, what's going to be affected by it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm going to spend some time on that.
Oh, there you go.
What's that?
Wait, tell her what you mean for you. What's that mean for you?
Well, with the changes to electric cars and self-driving cars, electric planes now, it throws a whole lot of things. It discombobulates a whole lot of things. Like if when self-driving cars show up, something like 60% of the traffic on the highways is going to go away. You won't need that much highway, so that's going to have a huge effect. As electric cars become more prominent, you won't need all the mechanics. You'll still need mechanics, but you won't need all of them that you have today. If you ever drive down the road and see all the car lots and stuff, you'll see that it's a huge change. But the point, you know, what got me thinking about it was with electric planes and all the thousands of airports there are, and only 500 or so that are passenger airports. That's a huge opportunity for uh, using planes more on a day-to-day basis. And they say that the cost of using an electric plane is about 1/20th the cost of a fossil fuel plane as far as fuel costs. So that would just be huge. I mean, instead of, you know, you could take, I don't know if there's an airstrip near the villages, but you could hop in one and fly over to Sanford, then take the big plane to
Yeah.
DC.
Yeah, there is a Leesburg airport because I had thought about going over there to market to it, but it's totally closed. It's only for people who already have airplanes.
Right.
So you can't just go in and make a cold call.
But see, as this transition happens, all of a sudden that throws that open. You know, that's another opportunity for the Leesburg Airport. And you don't need as long a runway with an electric plane. It's shorter because they. But anyway, that's
So
what.
one of the thought I have about that is I think it's a good thing to look into, and I think that you should, you know, if you're curious and you're interested, absolutely. The only thing I wonder, not saying this is a obstacle, but remember I told you that my friend Steve Deason that I rented from in Asheville, North Carolina, had gone to Japan to look at the new digital TVs for Circuit City because he was a director,
Right.
a director. And he came back and he said, "This is the wave of the future. This is coming to the States." And I said, well, he didn't hear. I said, "So how long do you think that's going to happen?" He said, "Well, it's probably going to be about 15 years before it transitions." It actually took 25 years before I started seeing us, the consumers, buying the digital TV because of the infrastructure. So the infrastructure, you know, we're about ready to put all this money into infrastructure, and are we putting our money on the right things of infrastructure? Should we be influencing our lawmakers to take a look at the future as it should be and start planning for that future?
Oh, absolutely. And we should not spend another penny on a train.
Train, yes, right.
Because it just makes no sense.
Well, that's a losing, actually, it's been a losing industry pretty much since inception, except for maybe early cargo days, because when Vanderbilt bought all the railroads around and turned them around because he looked at a new vision of, hey, we're in the transportation business, not the moving people business anymore. But now what are we doing? How are we using them? And we're
Well,
moving it's not as easy.
There's in fact, what the article that prompted me to think about this was, I've said since we moved back to Atlanta, the county here wants to extend the MARTA line, the rail line. Well, it's several $1 billion, and as you know, when you go to add a mile or two of line, that is a 10 to 15-year project by the time you assemble all the properties and get everything in the improvements. Well, there's just no way that works out in the changes that are coming. It just makes no sense. So, but anyway, I didn't, other than saying this, my sense is that's not going to work. I didn't really have any basis to say anything. Turns out there's a historic reference back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. The Midwest was a big user of the trolley cars.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, here in Atlanta, we had trolley cars.
Right.
And they were popular for like 20 to 30 years. Mm-hmm. And they used electricity, and it was from urban center to urban center, and those were usually only a few miles apart. Well, when Ford moved the car to an assembly line, it became so much cheaper. That totally destroyed the trolleys because you take your own
POVs, personal owned vehicles.
Yep.
People want to take themselves. They don't want to take public transport.
Yep. So
what's interesting is that they are like Atlanta. They are planning that same expansion in Dallas. They're planning that same expansion here in Orlando to run a train down to Miami and back. And you're right. There's a lot of unnecessary money being spent on public transportation that probably, I'm trying to get the sun out. That's probably a waste of money when it's all said and done based on the changes.
Keep leaning forward, Betsy, and it works well.
Huh?
You just keep leaning forward and it works well. It blocks the sun.
There we go.
It'll be gone in a second.
Yeah, I know.
But so anyway, it was a great historical model of how things will change and how quickly they'll change too, because it left a lot of municipalities holding the bag. They were just so gung ho that this was going to be the way of the future, and went ahead without doing any research and looking at, of course, you had to look at the whole picture and make some assumptions.
Well, the metro systems that exist in each of the cities are all electric run, and they are still popular. They're a little bit hurting right now because of the pandemic and people being paranoid, but once we get through this, they're hugely popular for transportation, and you can go from places in Virginia, Northern Virginia, all the way up to Upper Maryland on a metro system.
And I'm not saying that we do away with what we have right now. What I'm saying is I wouldn't spend another penny. Yeah. Expansion, not till things come into better focus about how everything's going to be affected. And so, but anyway, that was the whole purpose of asking it, because I saw those. When you start looking at all these things coming together, there's going to be some tough transitions and lots of opportunity, but lots of pitfalls too.
Yeah, and if you're curious, you could probably find the Dallas Morning News. There's a lot of commentary. Whenever I was there last 5 years, so 7 years ago, there was a lot of commentary on when they decided to bring the train in, and a lot of people making comments about why it's a really bad idea. It's a lot of costly money. It's not going to do what they think it's going to do. Who the heck do they think is going to ride it?
Well, for what we have in Atlanta today, it is wonderful.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than to go, say, to a train point, hop on and then get to the airport, and you're there in 15 minutes.
Texans don't ride. Texans don't ride in buses. They just don't.
Really? They
don't. You talk to a Texan in Atlanta, and I bet they have a car, and they've never ever considered using a taxi, bus, or train. maybe a new age Texan, but not the original Texans. They are so about their cars.
Well, I think that's a little short-sighted, but it's if you've ever done it, and of course you do it in DC all the time. I mean,
I love planes,
wonderful.
metros, and
Yeah, but
taxis.
Ubers show you what things can be like when we get to self-driving cars.
I
So
want it here in the villages, and I want it to be a taxi service for all these elderly people who can't get out and drive by themselves. Mom can go sit in the car and say, I need to go to this address, and boom, it'll take her right there.
But
well, in reality, the buses and the transport of goods, or anybody that uses fleets of vehicles, big trucks and stuff, or even cargo vans and stuff, those will be the things that will change the fastest.
And they're already testing them. You've seen
Well,
that.
yeah, we have one here in Peachtree Corners in about a mile loop.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but they'll change fastest because that's where the cost will be the best.
Mm-hmm.
That's the right way to say that. It'd be most cost effective to move quickly to that.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something. In Roanoke, you can call a bus, go anywhere, $5. Go to doctors and things, or go to the shopping center. Here in the village, where all these old people are, myself, you can't get nobody to take you to a doctor.
They actually have a transport. I don't think we've ever called them, but the ones that took you, I didn't realize it, but the one that took you to the club, remember that bus driver that took you to the club? Remember when they came and when you broke your foot and you went to the rehab?
That was
That wasn't the rehab's bus. I learned later that he goes around and takes people to doctors, but it's a cost.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's $5. In fact, I'm pretty convinced it isn't. But we can check and see.
Well, if you don't have that, somebody's not doing their job in the government there, because those things are all grant based.
I mean, I'd give
At least that was
anything.
my understanding anyway. I mean, it might be wrong. But yeah, we have them. I would assume we have them go down. I know we had it in Cobb. You could call and make appointments and get picked up. And we had it in Camden, but it was not user friendly for the people. It should have been redone. People could say go from Woodbine to Kingsland, do the shopping, but they only had like 45 minutes.
Hmm.
And it was totally inflexible.
Yeah, people don't move that fast when they're older.
Yeah, and it was only once a day, so if you missed coming back, you were done. But,
oh wow, so long taxi ride.
yes, it was.
But when I talked to the people at church and they asked me about, will they come pick me up, to go to the doctors, I said they don't have it. They couldn't believe it.
I think they do. We just have to check into it. If you want me to check into it.
Yeah. Well,
because that's that bus driver that told me that he didn't work for the club, that he actually worked, he made schedules. People requested his assistance and he would come around and pick them up and drop them off.
Yeah. Sun's moving kind of slow today. Did you hear me?
I
said the sun's
moving slow. Yes, I'm moving fast.
I'm going in.
Why?
What?
Bathroom.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're coming back?
Yeah.
Okay, she'll be back. Move into her seat.
There you go.
Yeah. Got the sun in my face.
Well.
Oh, I'll get on the other side. See, it's even better when the sun in my face.
So, did you guys schedule something else for your weekend with Jeannie?
No, we did not. We got our refunds from the tickets and from the hotel.
Yeah.
We talked about it, and I just decided that I don't want to go over there. I don't much. Lori thought I would want to go to the beach. I don't much like Daytona Beach anyway. It's too commercialized for me. And you know, in November we don't know what the weather's going to be. You can't go in the water. So I said I'd rather do something different. so we're just going to do something different at some point. Save our money, get our money back. I did go on the web and I watched a few more of her episodes as she has gotten older. And at one point she had broken her foot, and that one was hilarious. It was just absolutely hilarious the story she told about that. About how she got there, and I think it was the time. Oh, it was a place in Florida that she went, and she says, "I'm not going to say the town, but they are going to be embarrassed by this story." So, it was about the merch director.
The merch director?
The merchant, in their world, they call the merchandise person the merch director at the civic centers or wherever the facility is where they're conducting their show. And so apparently the merchandise director gets a percentage of the take on the sales of merchandise.
Right.
And then they give whatever the other percentage is to Jeannie and Company. Well, apparently the merch.
Jeannie's inventory, right?
Yes.
Okay, but she has to give a percentage to the merch director.
Right. So it was just a funny story.
I'll look it up. Thanks.
And I watched a few of the other ones before, I guess, her husband died. All these were before her husband died, but they were much older. She was a much older Jeannie.
Well, I thought she was hilarious in the one she was sitting on her back porch.
She was, man. She's just,
You get those dialogues with the producer. You couldn't hear the producer.
I know, right? She is hilarious. So every once in a while, I'll just go online and just binge on her. And I'll probably do that with Mom, later today, in fact, just to have her entertained for a little while I'm working on the bulbs. Give us some levity while I'm working on the bulbs. She definitely got bulbs done today. And I said, good, I'm glad you scheduled that. You finally scheduled time, so my time is not, all out and about.
How's Lori today?
Well, she was up all night working. She apparently couldn't sleep, and she said she had a lot on her mind, so she got up and worked through the night and came to bed about 6:30 this morning. So I got up at 6:30 and took the dog out, and yeah, she pulled an all night. She's good for that, though. When she is worried about something or needs to do something and she can't sleep, she don't try to sleep it through it. She just gets up and does it. And then she sleeps through the day. And she said that today is her football day, college ball day, and she'd be happy to lay in the bed with the dog and snooze. So I did my best to wear the dog out this morning.
So who are her favorite teams? A&M?
She definitely likes the Texas teams, but she likes to go with the rankings and look at the ranked teams because she thinks that'll be a better ball game. She will watch the Hokies from time to time. The Hokies have gone in and out of ranking, so she'll give me here's my cup behind you.
Now I'm going to get some coffee. You want coffee?
Yeah. Just pour a little bit of that cream in it.
Okay.
So she likes the ones that are ranked, and she'll just go through and see those. We actually don't get Hokie games here. They just don't show up. We don't get the station. It's always on an ACC network.
Right.
And we don't get that. So whatever she can get that's of a ranked team, and it's always Alabama. I think today is Auburn and Crimson Tide, which is Alabama. And I don't know if she'll watch the 7 o'clock tonight, but I definitely know she'll watch that 3:30 game because she likes the high-ranked teams. So it's not like she has a favorite, but she likes to watch a good ball game. And she does like, I've forgotten he's not in college anymore, but the guy that went to the Jacksonville team, is that the
Yes.
Jaguars?
What are you talking? He came from Jacksonville originally.
Oh, did he? Because
He came from Yulee.
The Clemson quarterback. She just really liked him, and he went to the Jaguars, I think.
There's a kid that came out of Yulee that is just, everybody's raved about, but I don't know if he's at the Jaguars or not. But I hadn't heard of him. he was evidently a big deal in Yulee when we were there, but I
Uh-huh.
didn't hear about him until he was in college.
Right. Well, this kid that she follows, thank you. This kid that she follows, she's gonna scooch up over here so we're out of the sun.
Yeah.
There we go. It's a little better,
Yeah.
a lot better actually. So anyway, I wish I could tell you his name, but he played for Clemson. He was a quarterback for Clemson, and then this year he got drafted. And I'd have to look on my sports app, and it's on the other side of the room, so no worries. But he was really, really good. He was really, really good. I watched some of the Clemson games, and he was something. And I watched him when he played preseason games, and he was good. He needed to be more consistent, but any new quarterback needs to be given a chance.
Right. Yeah, because there were a number of close games his senior year.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
So that's what she'll do today, and she'll snooze in and out because she was up all night.
Nice bird.
It is, isn't it?
What?
I guess your bird of paradise or whatever that. It looks like a parrot. Over here.
Yeah, over there. Parrot on the wall. It is a parrot. She's got parrots hanging around, and a hummingbird. Well, he can't see it unless he does that. That's her
Bluebird.
beeps at you and sings "Oh Susanna" from time to time.
Oh, really?
Yes, I'm like, what a talented bird you are.
Yeah, I turned the TV on yesterday, I think, and found those YouTube channels for the cats and dogs.
Oh yeah.
Aria and Dax didn't have much interest in it, but Louis did.
Louis the cat.
Yeah.
Oh, how about that?
He got up in front of the TV and he was looking behind it to see if he could get to him.
Where are these guys?
What kind of guys?
Louis, his cat, was watching
I think it was birds at the time, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Birds, dogs, things like that for
Yeah.
pets. And
They have videos on YouTube that just for your cat or your dog, and it'll be like birds or farm animals or squirrels.
they have a whole channel called the Animal Channel for your animals. Anyway, it looks like Brenda and Rick didn't join us today.
They didn't? I missed that. Hey, look, and I need to go because we're supposed to go help distribute some food.
Okay, well, good.
But
Are you volunteering?
yeah.
Good for you. Good.
Hey, Dax.
Dax, your grand dog is there.
Hey, Dax, come here. Come here.
Hey, Dax.
Dax, you see him?
Hey, Dax. He's like, whatever. There he is. He only wants your adoration. He doesn't care about the.
Wants me to pet him.
Yes, of course.
Scratch his chin.
That's all little Paprika wants, is she wants to be petted and held and loved on and kissed and snuggled.
I love that red.
I'm sorry?
I love that red shirt.
Okay, say that again.
I love that red shirt. Good looking.
He needed to hear it.
Thank you, Mom. Well, you guys have fun.
Okay, you guys too.
We'll catch you later. Love you.
Right. Love you.
Love you. Bye bye.